Hello, welcome to my new video, which is about Open Great League Show 6 Pick 3 again. I'm gonna pick up the series a bit. I was to Seville last week, so that's why I haven't made a new video yet on this. And also, we have Araquanid now, which kind of changes the meta real quick. So this video is gonna be about a team that I made and some matchups, some battles that I did. In Seville, we had an Open Great League Show 6 Pick 3 tournament there, right? So just as like in play Pokemon tournaments, and yeah, I swept it. I went 7-0. I won 14 battles, lost 2 in total, so that went really well. So yeah, this is me. It went well, right? And here's like the final matchup: me versus my friend Josh, the engineer. It got pretty late, but it was worth it because I won, right? So let's take a look real quick first at Araquanid. What does it change in this meta? Remember that Diggersby Cresselia core team core that I made a video about the other time? Araquanid destroys it. I made a chart real quick about what Araquanid destroys and what destroys Araquanid and what things are neutral to Araquanid or has at least play. So as you can see, I'll just put up a bigger version just real quick here. Let's look at what Araquanid is weak to. First of all, we have Registeel, Nidoqueen, and Talonflame that are probably the most meta things people will run, and that handle Araquanid pretty decently. I think Registeel is the prime counter to Araquanid. Nidoqueen might still lose with a shield down. Other than that, it's mostly flyers and some ghosts. Don't have to really meta though. Altaria might see some comeback because Araquanid does beat Walring, but we'll get to that in a bit. I think Pelipper is a pretty good answer to it, though a little bit bait dependent on Pelipper's side. Skarmory, bad general moveset, but good defensive typing. Mandibuzz is so-so. If you run Air Slash, it's a good matchup. If you run Snarl, it's iffy because Aerial Ace is a bad move. Jellicent actually is closer than you think, but it should be winnable, and AWAC is very solid against it, even though no one really runs it. Ghosts are a bit iffy now that Dark types got more popular, right? There's only one fight here that I put, and that is Lucario. Another one might be Toxicroak, but I feel like it's not as great in the meta. I mean, you could like need as Lucario really, but I feel like Toxicroak just has less play against like ghosts. Does do better against other fighters, but yeah, I mean Toxicroak could be there too. Bug is double resisted there. Araquanid loses like solidly to these two fights, Toxicroak and Lucario. You can even go straight Shadow Ball. A fragile mon like Lucario does fine against Araquanid there. The things that are neutral, I think Sableye, Lickitung, Treff, and Machamp are the prime neutral things in the hard meta of Open Great League. Araquanid can beat G-Fisk, Charm A9, straight Bubble Beam, and it can beat Azumarill as well. Even though you only do resisted damage with Bug Bite or Infestation and Bug Buzz Bubble Beam. G-Fisk isn't as great, like you have to shoot the first move, right? And then you go Bubble Beam. It's slightly better than Pidgeot versus G-Fisk. Yes, you can win it because you keep debuffing, but you have to shoot the first 2 moves, and well, that's not really what you want to play out, right? It's like a last resort matchup. So the matchups that Araquanid is good against, and these are Pokemon that actually have been used so and so. Let me make this a bit smaller. That are used so and so much lately, like Umbreon. Medicham is on almost every team nowadays. Scrafty is becoming more popular. Walrein is on every team. Swampert is on every team. Araquanid destroys these. Like, it's not even close. Well, Medicham is so-so. Like, you can compare it to Azumarill. Medicham versus Azumarill. But Umbreon, Scrafty, Walrein, Swampert, Deoxys. Well, Rockslide does hurt a little. They're not even close. Araquanid destroys them. Like, no joke. I think it's somewhat amazing that there's a core breaker to these kind of overpowered things, like especially Umbreon can win the zeros against Medicham, which is kind of stupid. but it also makes it more difficult, even more difficult to build teams around it. Also beats Diggersby. I think Diggersby can win zeros with Hyper Beam. Not sure if you want to run that when there's G-Fisk and Nidoqueen and Registry running around. And yeah, Cresselia, you also beat Cresselia, pretty consistent. Politoed, you don't see it as much, but it's also walled. Let's just get into these battles real quick. I recorded all of them, but I'm not going to show all of them. I had very high level opponents. However, there's some RPS in it, like for them, for me, and the things I want to showcase mostly is some of the matchup these Pokemon have. I don't want to reveal too much of my own strats as well, because, well, I'm still participating in Lille next weekend. We'll see how that goes. Let's go into the first one, I think against Bastiamax, one of Infinity Go's newer players. You can see here I lead Sableye into Wall Rain. Kind of good. Then my Swampert avoids it. Swampert is so-so against Wall Rain, but because you need to let Earthquake, right? As you can see in the back, I have the Araquanid, and that thing, I always had it. I had it on this Wall Rain. The thing is, if they have Wall Rain here, they might have like a Nidoqueen in the back. I don't have my opponent's teams on there because we got them on paper. I didn't save any of them. And maybe they just want to keep it for themselves as well. Now here's a good showcase of how much an Ice Spear is going to do. Nothing. It's beautiful. I found out Swampert or tried to, he swaps really quickly. You see that I run Bug Bite instead of Infestation. I think both are almost equally good. Bug Bite just leaves a little more room for like false move damage. And I like that on Bug Bite. I'm not saying it's a better move per se. I just think it's... Like, if you go straight Bubble Beam, the damage from Bug Bite is nice. So the Nidoqueen's in the back, as I predicted. The Araquanid counter. Yeah, that's game. So yeah, like I just said as well, I have Lucario as an Araquanid counter. The thing it really beats is Araquanid Double Steel. I faced Frika, who had second place in European International Championships. And his core of his team was Araquanid Double Steel, right? Araquanid, G-Fisk, Registeel, and Lucario runs through it. I win against Araquanid straight Shadow Ball, and I have Power Punch. I do like close combat as well, maybe with like double fighter strategy. Really depends on what you want. But I ran Pop just for a more consistent multiple shield matchup against steel types. You do lose the zeros without close combat against G-Fisk and Registeel, so keep that in mind. Here, my opponent leads Wall Rain into my Araquanid. I'm confident he has Nidoqueen in the back again, but this time I have Lucario to answer Wall Rain as well. On top of that, Lucario with the steel typing is fine against Nidoqueen. You know how Nidoqueen can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Poison Fang? Well, Lucario can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pop. And it's more effective because, well, counter is only single resisted. And Poison Fang is Poison Jab is double resistant. So I'll just throw some foul plays here. My opponent miscounting or didn't throw, or didn't keep track of it. Now has to shield. This is very good, and I even catch the move, which in hindsight might be even necessary here, simply because this thing might get to an Earthquake. An Ice Spear on Lucario already does like 30%. It's really fragile. I think a little bit comparable to like Haunter. Here, Shadow Ball on a Shadow Nidoqueen from Lucario is gonna do a ton. Yeah. Lucario with his shield up beats basically almost everything. So yeah. My next opponent's steps. I'm not sure where they are from, but they're pretty good. I get a good lead here. I think this matchup was kind of a little bit RPS. But what I want to showcase here is the Nidoqueen versus Araquanid matchup from the other side. If you swap fast enough, Araquanid cannot win this. They debuff you, but you debuff them. Your fast move does more, and your charge move does more. So this is generally a favorable matchup. If you're shield down, you lose this though, as Nidoqueen. I'm not sure about if this is the same with Infestation, because that doesn't have any fast move pressure at all, right? And as you can see, the ball beams, they don't necessarily add up. My opponent definitely miscounts here because they shield this, even though it's double resisted as well. I guess they want energy advantage on their Sableye. I answer with my own. This is kind of over here because I know they have G-Fisk. And yeah. Just go straight Earthquake. I think they keep the shield for the Sableye here. I think anything can go wrong. They have a really good rank though, so they survived that. But that's okay. I miscount as well. It's fine anyway. At this point I just get to a Hydro here. My Swampert is okay-ish rank. It does win some CMPs. But it does also tank a foul play from here. So that's good for me. As you can see, I haven't used Nidoqueen as much. It's mainly my Araquanid answer. And my Registeel answer. I'm running Mandibuzz, which is like the only dark type, along with Sableye, not weak to Araquanid, so I want to use those. My opponent has something very tough for me here, which is an Air/Mandibuzz. It beats all three of the things on my line. It's also not great for my Lucario. I think the only thing that can win it is my Shadow Nidoqueen, which I didn't bring. And I would have loved to have my Araquanid on this. Araquanid does pretty well against Snarl Mandibuzz, but Air/Mandibuzz, not so much. My opponent, I think, was running a pretty weird, well, not weird team, but interesting. Like, it was like triple dark, I think, a Cofagrigus and a Medicham. I hope they didn't face the opponent that was my first opponent. They had a Wigglytuff and Bastiodon, where Wigglytuff would have run through his line. That can happen as well, right? In play Pokemon tournaments, you can just run into someone who takes like his favorite GBL Pokemons to a tournament, and it just might happen to be an Altaria or a Wigglytuff that breaks your whole team. So even for those Pokemon, you kind of have to be prepared. My opponent brings in Medicham here. I think it's smart because they avoid my Sableye. They want to preserve that Mandibuzz to sweep. I want to debuff that Mandibuzz though, so. And I think I already had some energy on the Sableye, so I don't really farm it down either, right? Going over 100 energy is kind of a waste. I know this is an Ice Punch. They throw on CP, smart. But now I undercharge. Like perfectly too. You can see, even though Bug Bite is more as an offensive or fast move pressure move, it's still pretty slow. It's 3 energy per turn, 3 damage per turn, comparable to Air Slash. Which also is not a great move, so don't have too high expectations. Araquanid does what it needs to do, but also it's not gonna just farm down whole fighters, you know. You have to throw your moves. Even Walrein can get really close if you play it like badly. As you can see here, the timer comes up. So the thing that won me the match here is basically Araquanid stalling. It can do that. It can just go straight Bubble Beams. I think I play the finals here. We're gonna showcase all 3 of these battles against my friend Gengineer. He leads Nidoqueen into my Sableye. He has a Pelipper, which is bad for my Lucario. Not great for my Nidoqueen, especially when shields are used. And it beats Araquanid. I wouldn't say... it also beats Swamp, by the way. I wouldn't say it's very solid against my line, like against Araquanid. But it's also just not where you want your Araquanid on. The thing is, like, if they bait you with Araquanid, that will make your matchup pretty bad. It can also be the opposite way. If you call the bait from Pelipper on Araquanid, you win it with Araquanid. And if you shoot the moves correctly, you can also just win it. Right? If they go straight Hurricane, you can also win it. If you bait a Bubble Beam, like it's kind of bait dependent. I would say it's favorable for Pelipper. I would definitely swap mine in, probably, unless I have better answers or read the opponent different. But yeah, and I bring in my Lucario immediately. Now here you're gonna see why Lucario is. I don't recommend it per se. You don't even get to the Shadow Ball. You don't even get there. So yeah. It's not that great. Against Medicham, I think you do get to a Shadow Ball. It doesn't... I think it doesn't kill. I think it barely doesn't kill. It's like 80%, which still is a lot. But look at how close this gets. still survives a poison jab there. I was one bug bite off the move. One bug bite off the Bubble Beam. So that's a very close game. I had the lead, and he still got me. Here I have a terrible lead. I lead Swampert and have Lucario in the back. Kind of a flaw in my team build-up here. Maybe I expected him to safe swap the Pelipper, and I think Swampert is just ideal for, you know, if you win lead and they swap something in, you throw Hydro and you go into the next one to secure a switch. They're staying into my Sableye safe swap. That makes me think there might be Nidoqueen again. So I think I'm fine here with a shield up. I don't know what they have in the back. I don't have the Araquanid with me this time. Not sure how nice it could have been. He catches on his Deoxys, very good play. But since I already have a good feeling about what he has in the back, I'm just going to stay in here. He doesn't throw his move, probably expecting me to swap out or doesn't want to debuff himself immediately. I'll Earthquake and I will kill him. So my Swampert is still pretty healthy. And he brings in the Pelipper. That really tells me there has to be a Nidoqueen in the back. So I bring in my Lucario, sacrifice it here. Because Swampert is a nightmare for Nidoqueen. I think it's the prime answer. Maybe Golok is a little better. But yeah. He's gonna throw a Poison Fang here. I'll shield it anyway. I know it doesn't do anything, but Pelipper can't stack 3 Weather Balls. So I just need to get 2 moves here. And that should win me the match. That was a good game. So he was like playing ABB weak versus Sableye with Pelipper as his prime Sableye also. He did have Umbreon on his line, but I think he feared my Araquanid. And I have it with me again. I'm playing ABA weak to Pelipper. I'm glad to see the Pelipper here. This is a matchup Nidoqueen can win in the 2 shields. Actually does win in the 2 shields. But since False Move Denial is inconsistent, yeah. So I try to sneak here. I don't get the sneak though. Yeah, that makes it a little bit iffy. And he swaps in his own. I'm going for the Quake. So I think I forgot to TM it here. Since my Earthquake in what is it? The European International Championships. I like the Earth Power more because, you know, now the surprise is gone. I honestly should have saved that move. Because Foul Play is just, you know, Sableye is just better with energy. Can I get to another one here? That'd be awesome, because I might need it on the Pelipper. In the back is a Walrein. I barely don't get there. I may have desynced. I thought I was 2 off. But it doesn't matter. I have the Spidey here. And I make a slight misplay by not waiting out the clock. This is important. You wait out the clock. If you can hard counter, wait out the clock. I was impatient. I think he hit the Weather Ball here. It didn't matter. Like, if he threw that, I would have farmed down with the Araquanid. And I would have finished the Walrein off with the Araquanid. I love the design of this Pokemon as well. It looks so kind of fearsome. Typing is really good. As you can see, it walls this Walrein, which is just beautiful because nothing did that before. Even though Niantic said they wouldn't like apply new charge moves or false moves to not influence the tournaments too much, Araquanid definitely does. Araquanid definitely does. So yeah, that's my advice. If you have one, you can consider using it. People might prepare for it, and I recommend preparing for it because I've seen teams like 4 or 5 times weak to it pretending it doesn't exist. It's a thing. It's definitely a thing, and I don't think it's overpowered. But you should, yeah, it's gonna be overpowered if you're too weak to it. Anyway, that was the video for this time. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you maybe learned something from it. And yes, thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.